Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Of course, good morning to those of you that are just rising, and good night to those of you that are just going to bed. Today's presentation is brought to you, of course, by the Bible in Black, by Omnic Incorporated, brought to you by Dr. Glenn. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. I always tell you that there's nothing open after tuba legs, and that I would be making myself available to you anywhere between the hours of 2 a.m. and 7. So here I am, just in time for you to get up, get lifted, and ready for your services. Or if this is your service, welcome. So without further ado, I'm going to play the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, and we're going to talk about how it is applied to our communities today. There's different cities that we could get into, but we just talking about communities in general. And we're going to put the story on and see where it applies at in our lives in general. As I do each week, I'm looking for me in the Bible. I'm looking for me in the books. I'm looking for me in a new revelation. I'm looking for me in my breakthrough. So I'm looking forward to meeting you guys where you are. And as I stand all the way here in PA underneath of the umbrella of the 1000 Families Rich, I'm here to bring you my presentation this morning and hope that anything that I give you that is good, that the Most High allow you to get, and anything that is not, that the Most High remove. 1000 Families Rich is a part of my life now, and I am a part of theirs. And with that, everything that I do moving forward is going to be able to build a bridge for us, because eventually I'm going to be in front of my sisters, and we're going to be standing firm in the fold of the Most High God, and we're going to be coming from all different walks of life, and we're going to need to know something today. We're going to need to know something today. So right now, I'm going to put the story on of Sodom and Gomorrah. You guys let me know where it, don't let me know. Let yourselves know. Share it amongst each other and your peers where you fit into Lot's story, where you fit into Sodom and Gomorrah, wherever you live at, wherever you're tuning in at. Let's talk about it. Here we go. Stay tuned, guys.
What if I told you that scientists and archaeologists might have uncovered physical evidence of Sodom and Gomorrah's fiery demise? Cities wiped off the map by what seems to be a catastrophic event, so sudden and violent that it left behind a layer of ash and destruction. Now, let me ask you something even more startling. Have we been completely wrong about the real reason these cities were destroyed? For centuries, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah has been used to illustrate moral failure and divine judgment. But the deeper truth might surprise you. What if this ancient tale isn't just about personal wrongdoing, but also speaks to a society plagued by greed, injustice, and neglect? Are we, in our modern world, unknowingly echoing the same patterns? Stick around, because we're diving into the fascinating, misunderstood story of these ancient cities, and it just might change how you see history and yourself. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is one of the most infamous accounts in the Bible. Found in the book of Genesis, this tale is a cornerstone of biblical teachings, standing as a dramatic testament to divine judgment and the consequences of human actions. These two cities were said to be destroyed by fire and brimstone, wiped off the face of the earth by an act of God Himself. But what is it about this story that continues to capture our imagination thousands of years later? The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah is often cited as a warning against immorality, yet it is far more complex than a simple tale of wrongdoing. Religious texts describe their downfall as a response to rampant sin, but interpretations vary widely depending on whom you ask. Some say it's about personal vice, others point to societal injustice and oppression. The story raises profound questions about justice, mercy, and the human condition. What sins were so grievous that an entire region had to be obliterated? Beyond its religious significance, The story has left an indelible mark on popular culture. It's been depicted in movies, books, and art, often painted as a tale of shocking destruction and moral decline. But is there more to this narrative than meets the eye? Could it also serve as a mirror for our modern world, a cautionary tale about the societal pitfalls that still plague humanity today?
Now, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, what I'm trying to do is get a clear understanding. And as we go further into details, we're going to talk about what it applies to in our life today, how the stories kind of history repeating itself. But if you listen very closely, it'll get into some deeper details so we can implement ourselves within these different chapters and different stories, different books. And I'm just sharing it with you how I'm implementing different things into my life, how I'm able to be here for us and be here for me. So not only am I here on social media for the social media, I'm here for me. I'm here for me. There was a time when I didn't have me, and Lord and behold, I made it through the Sodom and Gomorrah. I never looked back, and I'm here to let you know to keep staying tuned, because the one thing is we going to go and we not going to look back. So I want you guys to stay tuned. I'm going to just take it back a second, because there was some key wordage and verbiage that I want you to start using when you talk. When you hear certain ways that I talk and that you hear the teaching, start using that language. Start standing up with your posture and being like, yeah, we ain't faced the Sodom and Gomorrah, but if I had the opportunity to get out, I would definitely go and not look back. Now, hold on.
Could it also serve as a mirror for our modern world, a cautionary tale?
Does it serve
about the
as a
societal
mirror
pitfalls
for
that still
today?
plague humanity today? In this video, we'll unravel the layers of Sodom and Gomorrah, exploring its historical, cultural, and theological depths. Whether you view it as a literal event, a symbolic lesson, or a bit of both, this story holds powerful implications that resonate far beyond its ancient origins. Let's uncover the truth behind one of the Bible's most enigmatic tales. When most people think of Sodom and Gomorrah, a few immediate images come to mind: fiery destruction, divine wrath, and a culture consumed by sin. These cities have long been synonymous with immorality and punishment, used as cautionary tales across religious and secular settings. But what exactly went wrong in Sodom and Gomorrah, and why has this story become so misunderstood? The problem begins with how this story is often oversimplified. Many interpret the destruction of these cities as a blanket condemnation of personal immorality, particularly focusing on specific sins. However, a closer reading of the biblical text reveals that the issues at play were far more complex and multifaceted. Sodom and Gomorrah weren't just about individual failings, they represented societal decay on a grand scale. Issues like unchecked pride, inhospitality, and widespread injustice are mentioned in various interpretations. But these. Okay, now hold on. Those three things. There were three things. There were three things just now mentioned. And I'm going to run it back so that we can hear it one more time. There were three distinct verbiage that I want you to hear it loud and clear. I'm hoping that the sound is just fine. Later on, you can put it on your own speaker and turn it up. That's what we're doing right now. Let me make sure. Oh, no, not the speaker off over here. Pardon the interruption over here. On that other live, all of a sudden my speaker was off, but I found it. So on the other live, we're back up and running. And with that being said, I'm going to take it back just a little bit. There's three words I want you to hear. Pay attention. Sodom's sins included arrogance, greed, and failing to care for the poor and needy. As this shift in perspective drastically changes the
Right there.
The broader implications about societal corruption and neglect of the vulnerable. Prophets like Ezekiel later clarified
Neglect
that
of the
Sodom's
vulnerable.
sins included arrogance,
Arrogance.
and
Greed.
failing to care for the poor and needy.
Failing to care
Ezekiel
for the poor and needy.
16:49.
Ezekiel
This shift
40,
in
69.
perspective drastically changes the narrative, pointing to a deeper message about communal responsibility and the consequences of societal decay. Another challenge is the cultural and historical distance between us and the events described. Sodom and Gomorrah existed in a world vastly different from ours, where ancient Near Eastern practices and norms shaped daily life. Understanding the historical context of the city's destruction requires looking beyond the surface level reading of the text.
Right there. You got to look past the surface reading. So, yes, we all know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Anybody, we can go and tell it right now. Oh, yeah, and that's when Lot's wife, and she looked back and she turned into salt and they burnt it all down. But the story of life in general is more than just the burning of brim and stone. It's all about your life today as you are being encouraged to go forward. There's some things that we are guilty of just turning around real quick and looking back. And if you're being commanded, demanded, and talked to directly and saying, hey, there's some instructions we're here to give you, we're asking that you don't look back. We're having some community issues. You guys just don't look back. All you got to do is just keep going. It was demanded for you to do. So we're going to stop looking through the surface level of the story. And what I would like to do is bring you a little further in to Sodom and Gomorrah, the two cities, based on the excitement and the fun and the this and the that. And we're going to apply that to our own lives. So I want you to keep on staying with me. I had a little technical difficulty over there on my other live, but I want everyone to know that, yes, I'm back up and running. I must have pushed mute over there, but stay with me. Because we want to know which sin actually destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just one thing.
The vulnerable. Prophets like Ezekiel later clarified that Sodom's sins included arrogance, greed, and failing to care for the poor and needy. Ezekiel 16:49. This shift in perspective drastically changes the narrative, pointing to a deeper message about communal responsibility and the consequences of societal decay. Another challenge is the cultural and historical distance between us and the events described. Sodom and Gomorrah existed in a world vastly different from ours, where ancient Near Eastern practices and norms shaped daily life. Understanding the historical context of the city's destruction requires looking beyond the surface level reading of the text. What were these cities like before their downfall? How did their practices and policies reflect their moral state? Without this context, it's easy to misinterpret or even misuse the story to support modern agendas that may miss the heart of the message. Additionally, the method of their destruction, fire and brimstone raining from the heavens, has led to countless debates. Was it a literal act of divine intervention, or does it symbolize something more metaphorical? Some scholars propose that geological events, such as a volcanic eruption or a meteor strike, could explain the destruction. Others believe the story is a theological parable meant to warn against moral and spiritual decay. These differing interpretations make it even harder to arrive at a clear consensus about the story's meaning. Finally, the challenge lies in how this narrative is weaponized in contemporary discourse. Some use Sodom and Gomorrah as a tool for condemnation, targeting specific groups or behaviors, without acknowledging the broader themes of justice, compassion, and humility. This misuse of the story further alienates people from its true lessons and creates division rather than understanding. The story of Sodom.
Right there. The misinterpretation sometimes of the teachings. It's a misinterpretation. What could happen is now you're looking at your enemies and you're looking at people standing in your community and saying, hey, something ain't right. but actually we are under one covenant. So in the matter of the factuals, it's not just one thing that could anger the Most High or anger whatever that element is that you believe in. So when the fire and the brim and all the stuff starts to catch on fire, after being warned to stop being things, and it wasn't the physical look of the city, it was the morals of the community, the morals within the community. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is not just based on everything they did and all that. It's actually a story morally, and you have to ingest things, meaning you have to spoon feed it to yourself. And after you ingest, in order to get the clear understanding of what the flavor really was, it has to digest. Once it digests, you'll understand more where you apply your life at and what communities you go to and when you look back and when not to look back. That's where we are today. We're going to go when don't look back. So don't look back.
And Gomorrah is far more than a tale of fire and brimstone. It's a reflection of human society at its worst. To truly grasp its meaning, we must challenge preconceived notions and dig deeper into the text, the culture, and the lessons it offers for today's world. To truly understand the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, it is crucial to explore the historical, cultural, and spiritual context in which these cities existed. Their names have become synonymous with sin and destruction, but beneath the surface lies a narrative rich with lessons about human behavior, societal values, and divine justice.
Societal
Sodom
behavior.
and Gomorrah were part of a region referred to in the
The
Bible
life on
as
life
the
terms,
cities
as
of
we
the
call
plain,
it.
likely located near the Dead Sea. The geographical details in Genesis describe the area as fertile and prosperous, like the garden of the Lord, Genesis 13:10. This lush setting suggests that these cities were once thriving centers of commerce and agriculture, full of opportunity and abundance. Yet, prosperity often comes with its own pitfalls. In Sodom and Gomorrah, wealth and success seem to foster arrogance, greed, and moral decay, rather than gratitude or responsibility. The Bible portrays the citizens of these cities as guilty of grievous sins. But what exactly were these offenses? Common interpretations emphasize sexual immorality, particularly in Genesis 19, where the men of Sodom demand to abuse Lot's angelic visitors. However, reducing the story to this single event neglects the broader societal issues. Other parts of Scripture, such as Ezekiel 16:49 through 50, expand on the sins of Sodom, pointing to pride, gluttony, complacency, and a failure to care for the poor and needy. These cities embodied a culture of selfishness and injustice, where the vulnerable were exploited or ignored, and where hospitality, a sacred duty in the ancient Near East, was flagrantly disregarded. Hospitality in ancient times was not just a matter of politeness, it was a moral and spiritual obligation.
Moral and spiritual
Travelers,
obligation
strangers, and the needy
to welcome
relied on the
strangers.
generosity of others for survival
There
in
you
a
go.
harsh environment.
There you go.
The violent and inhumane behavior of Sodom's citizens toward Lot's guests symbolized a deeper corruption of societal values. By rejecting and threatening those who came under their protection, the people of Sodom displayed a level of moral depravity that went beyond personal failings. It was a communal betrayal of divine principles. Archaeological and historical insights add another layer to the story. Some scholars suggest that Sodom and Gomorrah were real cities that met a catastrophic end, possibly due to natural disasters like an earthquake or a meteor strike. These events could explain the fire and brimstone imagery in the Bible. Others view the narrative as a theological parable, emphasizing moral and spiritual truths over historical accuracy. Both perspectives highlight the timelessness of the story's warnings about societal corruption and divine accountability. The role of Abraham in the narrative further deepens the story's exploration of justice and mercy. In Genesis 18, Abraham pleads with God to spare the cities, if even a handful of righteous people could be found within them. This negotiation.
He said that Abraham went and asked God, listen, if I can just get a couple people, God, to act right, can you just don't burn it down? So Abraham went and put a plea in, listen, if I can get everybody over here to act right, can you just don't burn this part down? So Abraham went in the book of Genesis and he tried to ask God, what could I possibly do? Is it too late to rally my folks up now? It's getting ready to be a little bit too late now because the demands and the commands already were put upon you. And now the fact that morally you guys became rich morally and used the expense of others that could not or was not. And so in that town, the Most High said, oh, you're going to deprive and deny the community that is sitting here that doesn't have. Like myself, I'm not a gatekeeper. I often offer. No one has to ask me anything, I give. So we have some of that in our community, which is a plus, but we do have some communities that don't do that. And for that reason, the Most High have decided that it's going to go beyond fire, honey. I'm going to check you morally. I'm going to see where you standardized at. I'm going to see what you actually built your business on. I'm going to see what the community is standing on morally. So the Most High questions the community morally and destroys the community. And let's see what happens when the Most High gets that angry. And we want to know what sin really destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It couldn't have just been that one thing.
Reveals God's character as both just and compassionate, willing to extend mercy if even a small remnant remains faithful. However, the absence of such righteousness in Sodom and Gomorrah
we're going to take it back.
Spare the cities, if even a handful of righteous people could be found within them. This negotiation reveals God's character as both just and compassionate, willing to extend mercy if even a small remnant remains faithful. However, the absence of such righteousness in Sodom and Gomorrah underscores their complete moral collapse. The story challenges modern people to reflect on their own communities and values. Are we fostering justice, compassion, and humility? Or are we falling into the same patterns of arrogance, neglect, and exploitation? By examining
neglect,
the historical and
exploitation,
spiritual dimensions of Sodom and Gomorrah, we uncover lessons that resonate across time, urging us to strive for societies rooted in righteousness and love. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah reaches its dramatic and unforgettable climax when divine judgment is executed upon these cities. This pivotal moment is not only the most intense part of the narrative, but also one that radically shifts our understanding of the events leading to their destruction and what they symbolize. As the sun rises over the city of Sodom, the angelic visitors, who came under Lot's protection the night before, urgently instruct Lot and his family to flee. The angels warn them not to look back as they escape, emphasizing the irreversible nature of the coming judgment. This is a key moment of tension. Lot and his family are caught between the impending wrath of God and the comforts of the city they called home.
Okay.
The urgency of the angels.
Right there. When God calls you and tests you in between the place you called home, because this is what they're being faced with. They're being faced with God saying, hey, listen, I know that's where you're from. I know everything you had is built there. Come on, somebody. I know everything that you believe in is right here in this same community. That right here today, the Most High is challenging us morally to say, well, listen, me, the creator of all creators, the Most High now. It wasn't me. The Most High said, well, I'm going to challenge you to either stay here and look, and I want you to go forward and don't look back, or the wrath that I'm going to put on you is not reversible. So I don't want you challenging me now. When I say go, we just the people of color, we see people running, we go to running. A lot of us kind of peek back real quick to see if the people's still coming. We can't afford to do that no more. You know, you see a crowd, y'all talking, and they running. And next thing you know, oh, shoot, I'm running. Now, we all running. But you have that in human nature. But you got to put that human nature to the side and build your faith back up and say, now, God done already said. He done sent the messages, the angels, the whispers. Matter of fact, it's made clear. It's been made clear. All I got to do is when it's time to go and I see the folks going forward, all I got to do is decide if I'm going to go ahead with the Most High God or if I'm going to stand back in this community. Am I going to turn back and look and see what I'm losing? Or do you just go ahead full forward and just keep going until you get to where God leads you to? That's a hard decision to make, even when we want to say relocate. We've been places and we tend to come back home to that place that morally we check out morally, sometimes in our own home community. So yes, we're faced with decisions all the time. I myself, to speak about where this brings me to my own community, I'm building a business here that I'm going to stand here. I'm standing with a community that's not from here, 1,000 families rich, but they're supporting me as if I'm right in front of them. That's what the divine power stands for. As the doctor of divinity, I believe in that connection. I believe in that force that no matter where they stand, I'm present. I'm present. I'm present with my 1,000 families rich. I'm present with my pharmacy family. I'm present with my new stuff coming about. I'm present with everything in my community. I'm here. I don't have to be nowhere physically. I'm here. I'm definitely here. And if I was called to leave this place and not look back, you got to think about it. Just think about it. Somebody come running the door right now, grabbing everything, and you saying, oh, shit, what's going on? What's going on? They said, come on, man. They said, run. And when you get ready to start going forward, just don't look back. Because if you look back, you're going to have a problem. And I'm telling you now, you can't fix it yourself. All that, well, if I look back, I can fix it myself. No, this is at the point where it's beyond you. And you got to get excited, make an outrage about it. Because you think about it, they come right here in your community and tell you, listen, everybody in here got to go. Everybody got to go. It's a thing going on. They get ready to burn the whole city down. But they say if you look back, you good as burnt. So we're going to keep going.
Reflects the immediacy of divine action.
The immediacy of divine action. Come on.
Ending wrath of God and the comforts of the city they called home. The urgency of the angel's warning reflects the immediacy of divine action.
I don't want nobody to miss that part.
Understanding of the events leading to their destruction and what they symbolize. As the sun rises over the city of Sodom, the angelic visitors who came under Lot's protection the night before urgently instruct Lot and his family to flee. The angels warn them not to look back as they escape, emphasizing the irreversible nature of the coming judgment. This is a key moment of tension. Lot and his family are caught between the impending wrath of God and the comforts of the city they called home. The urgency of the angel's warning reflects the immediacy of divine action, but it also raises profound questions. Why did the judgment have to be so absolute? The Bible describes the destruction vividly. Then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities and the entire plain, destroying all those living in the cities, and also the vegetation in the land. Genesis 19:24-25. This catastrophic imagery has often been interpreted as divine retribution, but its deeper meaning lies in what it reveals about the nature of God and humanity. First, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah serves as a divine response to unchecked wickedness. Throughout the Bible, God's judgment is portrayed as not only punitive but also corrective, meant to serve as a warning to others. The fire and brimstone that rained down upon these cities were a dramatic display of God's intolerance for injustice, corruption, and inhumanity. But it's also important to note the absence of even a small remnant of righteousness in these cities. Abraham's earlier negotiation with God to spare the cities for the sake of 10 righteous people highlights God's willingness to extend mercy. The fact that no such righteous individuals could be found demonstrates the total moral decay of the society. The climax also centers on Lot's wife, whose tragic decision to look back as the cities are destroyed has become one of the most haunting moments in the narrative. Her transformation into a pillar of salt is often seen as a symbol of disobedience, attachment to sin, or an inability to let go of the past. It reminds people that divine instructions, no matter how difficult to comprehend, carry profound significance.
Uh-oh. So what happened now? Uh-oh. Now, wait a minute now. What actually happened?
Haunting moments in the narrative. Her transformation into a pillar of salt is often seen as a symbol of disobedience, attachment to sin.
A symbol of disobedience, attachment to sin,
or an inability to let go of the past.
Or the inability to let go of the past. Now, right there, the inability to let go of the past. Just let that sink in. That's exactly why she turned into salt, because she did not have the ability to let go of the past. It was a borrowed lifestyle. It was a borrowed life. The Most High said, I'm going to take that away and start you a whole nother one. I'm just asking you to go. And don't look back. And don't look back.
It reminds people that divine instructions, no matter how difficult to comprehend, carry profound significance. Her fate serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of lingering in places or mindsets that God calls us to leave behind.
Okay, now she said it loud and clear that it's not just places, geographical places. The Most High calls us to leave certain mindsets behind. That stinking thinking, as we called it. That one more run. The incarcerated right now today that can't wait to get out, they got a plan. You know, in between the cars, they talking about, yeah, and when we get out, you know what I mean? And you just call this one and do this one and that one, and we going to get together and boom, boom, boom. It's a call to morally move forward. Not just physically pack a bag. Yeah, this is my time. I'm going to move now. That was my inspiration that I needed to. I'm already packed. All I got to do is move now. No, this ain't that. This ain't the geographical move. This is the mindset move. This is the movement of the mind when the Most High God calls you and says, hey, listen, anything that in which you were not understood or clear on, anything in which there was doubt placed upon you, let me give you the clarity that you need. Free your mind. If the Most High gives you an opportunity to trade in your old mind and old thinking, and if I had knew what I knew now, what if the Most High could just take that and say, you know what, I'm going to make you over, and I'm going to make you nice. Come on. You're going to give you a new mindset. They said, we ain't going to move you out your house today, but today might be your mindset. Snap over and be like, you know what? I'm not even thinking like that no more, because every time I think a type of way, I go back and do some dumb stuff. Or every time I think about it, or I go back in time, or I start looking back at things, and I start looking at those old things that I thought got me here today. If the old ways you feel as though got you to where you are today, why would you morally check out when you got an opportunity to just go ahead? And don't look back, and don't look back.
For Lot and his daughters, the escape is both a physical and spiritual journey.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to put that back a little bit because I need you to hear, because our next segment is about the daughter. You see, Lot. Okay, hold on. I got to tell y'all something. So y'all stay on. I got another half an hour with you. After this, I'm going to play Lot's wife's daughter, the one that didn't look back. Baby, I'm going to introduce y'all to her daughter, because it was something that happened after she turned into salt. And they actually made it on over there, those that kept on looking straight ahead. They didn't look back. So I wanted you to notice that they mentioned the daughter. They mentioned the daughter in this story, and she can be found in the book of Genesis, chapter 19 to 25, chapter 1, verse 19 to 25. You'll find her there. Now, also, you'll find her all throughout the thing, but I'm going to bring you to her next. Oh, she had a daughter, and baby, she was something else.
Found significance. Her fate serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of lingering in places or mindsets that God calls us to leave behind. For Lot and his daughters, the escape is both a physical and spiritual journey. Their survival signifies a moment of divine grace, but it also leaves them with the weight of witnessing such a devastating event. This duality reflects the broader message of the story. God's justice is absolute, but his mercy is extended to those who heed his call. This climactic moment forces people to confront uncomfortable truths about humanity's potential for evil and the consequences of collective sin. It also challenges us to reflect on our own lives. Do we, like Lot's wife, find ourselves tempted to look back, clinging to what God has called us to leave behind? Or can we move forward in faith, trusting in God's plan and his call to righteousness? Ultimately, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah is more than a moment of divine wrath. It's a turning point that underscores the need for justice, accountability, and an unwavering commitment to live according to God's principles. It stands as a timeless reminder of the dangers of moral complacency and the transformative power of obedience to God's will. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is one of the Bible's most profound and sobering accounts, carrying lessons that resonate far beyond its ancient context. At its core, the narrative is a powerful reminder of the consequences of unchecked wickedness and the importance of living a life aligned with God's principles.
Unchecked wickedness.
It's not just a tale of judgment, it's a call to self-reflection, accountability, and transformation. We began by uncovering the common misconceptions surrounding these infamous cities. Were they destroyed solely because of specific sins, or is the lesson more nuanced, highlighting a culture of pervasive injustice and inhumanity? The story challenges us to dig deeper into the reasons behind God's actions and consider how the absence of righteousness shaped their fate. In the climactic moments, we witness the harrowing destruction, the urgency of divine warnings, and the tragic loss of Lot's wife. These events are themes of obedience, grace, and the consequences of clinging to a sinful past. Sodom and Gomorrah's tale isn't just about the past.
Clinging to a sinful past.
Our own times. Are we living in ways that honor God's call for justice, kindness, and humility? This narrative invites us to choose righteousness over complacency, transformation over destruction. What do you think about the story of Sodom and Gomorrah? Does it challenge the way you see justice and mercy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We would love to hear your perspective. There's so much more to explore. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth Bible stories.
Now, before we get into Lot's daughters that are now looked at as a part of the significance of the story because they were the survivors. The daughters of Lot and his wife, when they made it, they became a part of that stigma of their mother that couldn't let go of the past. It was like they have to be faced with that lifestyle poured over into their life. And now life went on as they turned around. They don't have her mom now. He lost his wife. It was all sudden. Just from a glimmer of looking back, like they wanted to know, can you look forward ahead of God's new plan for you? Or is it something that's keeping you backwards? Is it something in your lifestyle? Is it a man? Is it an old job? Or is it what? old places that you used to go to and certain places that you feel like, if I could just get from here and stop going there, then maybe I could get ahead. Because a lot of times we second guess ourselves. That's what's keeping me back every Friday or every time I get paid. My old habits of hitting the liquor store and doing this and that is catching up to me. Shoot, if I'd have had that money, then they called me for this and that. You didn't have a couple of dollars. So it's stuff like that you got to look at. Are you inclined to move forward? Like you say, I just want to change. We got an addict today that just wants to be clean, or an alcoholic today that just wants to be dry now. They don't want another soak and wet. They don't feel like that no more. So we decide on if we're going to keep going or are we going to turn around and look back. But now that we got past Lot and his family made it successfully, his daughters were only mentioned as him and his daughters successfully made it. Now, one of the daughters became very, very well mentioned throughout the Bible, and I want y'all to meet her today. That's what we're going to go with right now. So let me get her up here. And we're going to just see what life was afterwards. You think about the decisions that you have to make with moving forward in life. Don't second guess yourself. If you feel like you landed a job somewhere else, or you got a job paying $1 more or anything, you see something a little bit more rewarding to you, you see something that can make your success blossom, go forward and just don't look back. Because you might not have that opportunity no more. Because sometimes the opportunity is exactly that, a missed opportunity. A missed opportunity, sometimes it is, you would think, let me look back. Let me go back and look back. But
what would drive a queen?
You don't want to do that. But you say, can't nothing. Then there's some things that you say in life, can't nothing make me go back to that. That's the conscious decision making that we need today's society. If everybody would put that into perspective and say, you know what? The mindset is moving forward too. Even in the beginning of the year or sometime now, we start getting our money or taxes or our paychecks and stuff. We start getting new furniture. We throw the old one away. And then sometimes you see your old furniture somewhere else and be like, I had that furniture and it looks so nice in here. And you start thinking about what you had and you go, well, I went forward and I didn't look back, and look at what I have now today. So sometimes you have to morally check out to morally check back in order to get somewhere. So now, as the generations went forward, and as mentioned in the snippet, Lot and his daughters made it. But yeah, there was life afterwards. They have to live with that. That was your wife. Oh, that's your mom. Oh, I know who you talking about. In today's society, that's the way that goes. But when you look back in the biblical days, you look back and say, well, where are the daughters and stuff? And now they said that Lot and his daughters and I made it over there. Let's just end the live today with what happened to the beautiful daughters of Lot's when they survived. Most daughters look back too. We want to go where our parents go sometime. We want to be just like them. And if they were a big business, we want that business to be carried on underneath our name. We want to be looked at by our parents as significant, like to say, I hope you see me as the boss of your new business, because I already placed my girls and my son, if something happened to me, boom, they got that business. So you have to show what everything is all about. So the same thing with Lot and his daughters, they made it. And I just wanted to finish the story off on, and then what?
Her own grandchildren. Madness, power, or something. What would drive a queen to slaughter her own grandchildren? Madness, power, or something even darker, something rooted deep in the twisted legacy of betrayal. In the ancient kingdom of Judah, one woman's hunger for power would lead her to commit one of the most horrifying acts in biblical history. Her name, Athaliah, a queen whose story is often overlooked, but whose cruelty rivals the most ruthless figures the world has ever known. Today, we uncover the chilling truth behind Athaliah's reign of terror and reveal the shocking secret that drove her to destroy her own bloodline. This is the story of the bloodiest queen in the Bible. Before the chaos, before the bloodshed, Judah was a kingdom hanging by a thread. After King Solomon's death, the once unified kingdom of Israel had split in two: the northern kingdom, Israel, and the southern kingdom, Judah. Judah, under the house of David, clung to the worship of Yahweh. But Israel had wandered far, chasing after foreign gods, idols, and forbidden practices. And it's here, in this broken world, that Athaliah's story begins. Athaliah was born into power, the daughter of King Ahab and Queen Jezebel of Israel, two of the most notorious rulers in biblical history. In 1 Kings 21:25, the Bible says,
Now, hold on. I got my paperwork messed up right here. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm looking over here on my Sunday services, and this is next week's service. Sorry about that. Hold on. This is next week's services. This is Jezebel's story. Hold on. We'll go back to Lot's daughters shortly. In the meantime, get yourself something to drink and get yourselves together, and I'll get everything up and running right here. Thank you so much. Give me 1 sec. 1 sec. Okay, here we go, guys. Okay, after escaping, here we go.
Do you know how dangerous sin can be and what its consequences might be? The story of Lot and his daughters teaches us this. They were the only family saved from Sodom and Gomorrah, cities where sin overflowed God's patience and were destroyed by fire and brimstone. For a long time, Sodom and Gomorrah were considered myths until clay tablets found in Ebla, in modern Syria, mentioned these cities. After escaping, Lot and his daughters hid in a cave, believing they were the last people on earth. In fear, Lot's daughters got their father drunk and had relations with him. From this sin, the Moabites and Ammonites were born, who later harmed Israel. God decreed that even the 10th generation of these peoples would not enter the assembly of Israel. This story shows that sin leads to terrible consequences. When God forbids something, it is not just a prohibition, but a warning of impending trouble. Do you know how dangerous sin can be and what its consequences might be? The story of Lot and his daughters teaches us this. They were the only family saved from Sodom and Gomorrah, cities where sin overflowed God's patience and were destroyed by fire and brimstone. For a long time.
This is the most mysterious.
Now, as you can see, when it was said and done, and Lot and his daughters went into a cave, and they believed within their own hearts that they were the last people to survive. When they were back mingling with the society again, which is now their new community, yeah, they got their dad drunk and started doing some things on with him and got pregnant and start multiplying and did the defiant thing. The exact nature of those that go before us morally, we begin to start those habitual ways and apply them things to our life. So now all of a sudden they create a whole new climate of everything that was just recently destroyed. So they restarted the birth with the incest, the drunkenness, All the sinning in the world, all based off of one family. So Lot's family is something to go back and research. I want you guys to dig deep into the life after the salt, after the destruction. After the destruction, them girls got the dad drunk and went on and did all that stuff and started multiplying and stuff like that. So the nature of sin, morally, you check out. So they didn't know what else to do. They didn't know what else to do. So you have to do more than just survive a storm. They survived the most inevitable just to have to resort back to human nature. The first thing they could think of is, well, getting drunk, intoxicated, and, you first then we'll just get pregnant and then we'll have life. Because they believed that they were the last of the survivors. Imagine sitting there thinking, this is it. You're the only one in the cave. The world is over, and that's the end of it. And all you had to do was morally check in and say, you know what? You're right. You're right. It's time to put that thing down. It's time to put the people down. It's time to leave them places behind. It's time to go and don't look back. It's time to just look straight ahead and say, you know what? It's forward from here. Yeah, it's too much to think about your generations. Imagine. Well, damn, my grandmom and them look back. Generations before you. Addiction and a drug addictness and all that stuff that went before us. And some of our parents didn't make it because of it. And we look back and say, well, my uncle died alcoholic. I bet I don't. You start looking back. Oh, did you see the way that they declined? Oh, all they had to do was stop. It seems like it's that easy. But no, you got to surrender those things. In order to go forward, you definitely have to surrender and submit your will, just like you surrender and submit when you relapse, or you surrender and submit and go back to the guy or the girl. You be like, you know what? I'm going to give him one more chance. Girl, it's Christmas. Just till New Year. But if we make it to the matching pajamas, oh, then boom, boom, boom. But you already had the command. He beat you. He didn't help you with Christmas or nothing. He got all nasty with you. You say, well, I do this for me. I don't need nobody. I do this for me. But you're looking back. And God done already gave you the promotion at the job, so you could do it by yourself, just for you to pick back up on that thing or them people, or go back to that place one more time, because it's going to be different this time, right? No, her generations went on after her, and you see what happened. So what I'm saying is to you guys, morally check in, go forward. My 1,000 Families Rich teaches me every training that you go forward, you don't look back, you take the leap. They've encouraged me to go, and I have some legal reasons why I'm standing off for a minute. But once I, pour my little stuff out, they'll understand. I'm just protecting me. I have to, because I'm coming underneath a big business. So I got to make sure that I'm protected on all things. And with that being said, I don't look back on anything that I lost. I don't go back and try to fix that thing that I lost. I don't go back and rebuild them relationships with the men that I broke up with. I got so many different, I guess they call that booty calls or whatever y'all want to call it, where somebody might want to hit that, body me. They want to, get up on me. I don't go for that anymore. I used to go on the phone call, the $40. I've been there and done it, but I wouldn't dare look back, because I done quadrupled them zeros now. And with my 1,000 Families Riches, I would never have to look back on that. See, things like that is what's their mindset. I was called to elevate my mindset and move forward in my mindset. I haven't really been encouraged to move yet, because I got 3, 4, maybe 5 different locations like this in front of me. And I'm going, I don't know if I like this one, but I'm going to put that one down here. But I know for a fact I'm going to go over here, because I got to be there with these people right here. They waiting for me. I'm not stopping them from doing what they doing. No, my 1,000 Families Rich keeps on going without me standing there, without my orders, without whatever me there. But yes, they are encouraging me, girl, make the order and just come on. But it ain't that simple when you're running nonprofits and different businesses. I have to be mindful on how I conduct business. That's all that is. Once I get past maybe Monday or after the holiday, I'll have a clear understanding on if I can proceed or if I'll just be a customer, because I know the difference. There's 2 different ways to enter into the thing. So, but anyway, I know how to get in where I fit in without looking back. on things that I know better in order to move forward. I don't question my steps that I'm taking because somebody else took steps and it went away. The way that theirs went might not be the way mine's went. I might not have looked back. They might have looked back and said, well, let me go get my old photo. Nope. Everything I have is all forward. It's all finished. And that is when you go ahead and don't look back. Who wants to be a pillar of salt and remembered for that? And to have to live with the thought of your ancestors and predecessors, they all looked back. And for you to break the cycle, if you're the only one in your family that just don't look back, then so be it. You give yourself your flowers today just for that. Yeah, you might not have a family where people went before you and made it big and they left you an inheritance. Some people don't have that. Sometimes you are the inheritance. You are the head of your household. You don't just get to write that down on your tax form. Head of household means a thing. It's an actual thing. And in order to get there, you have to go forward and don't look back. So that is today's Sunday message. Sit down Sunday. I got a little lightheaded cabbage on, and I'm going to fry some potatoes and onions and make some sausage today. That's going to be my meal. I'm going to eat on that all day. And I'm going to make some white rice and some corn on the... I don't know what else I'm going to add to it. But listen, I ask that you guys nourish yourselves, your fruit, the spirits, your body and mind on everything that the Most High God has for you of your understanding. Of course, today and any day that I get on is not an encouragement to follow me. Their encouragement is for you to go back, do your own research, go back and look at the videos for yourself. So my call out for you is not to follow me, but it's to follow the call for you to move forward. And when you're being called to move forward, especially mentally, I'm asking that you go ahead and move forward. Do not be afraid to come up out of that dark space. Don't be afraid. It's not always the light that you're going to see first. Sometimes it's a click in your mind that you feel first. And then the light will shine brighter. So you might still be in a dark place, but as long as you can hear the sound of something that says, it's not the trumpet, thank you, Lord, but there's a sound, a call. Our ancestors have a call. It's almost like when you hear the beat of a song, the instrumental, you can hear the call of your ancestors through the drums. Please pay attention. Pay attention sometimes. Sometimes we got gurus that's music gurus. Every time you go through something, you got a song that you got to hear. So when you play your song this time, back in the day, I used to write the lyrics down and mail them out to the Glen Mills and all the little jails that my little friends was in, like it was my words. You remember Forever, My Lady, Jodeci? You all remember the songs. I used to write that down. That was me. I became all these things. Yeah, so I used to write the songs and that music would manifest and give me a feeling, but you have to think about it. You don't see the music, you hear it. So therefore, you got to feel it. Sometimes that music will move you forward. Shoot, you could put a song on right now today on a Sunday and be like, you know what? Well, let it move you. Well, let it move you. Well, let the music move you. If that's what it is that gets you where you're going, let it groove you. You get your thing on and you start saying, well, that's my motivation for today. And it could just be a song, or it could be your show. It could be something you wanted to see, and now ain't nobody in front of the TV. This is your moment. Go ahead and press fast forward and take a look at what lies ahead of you. Stop denying yourself an opportunity to hear the whispers in the silence, the loudness of the silence, and say, you know what, my 1,000 families rich and everybody else, because I'm going to say everybody else, because everybody in the 1,000 families rich is going forward and not looking back. And they're pulling me to look forward and not look back. And I'm the one giving the message. So now, you know, if I'm being tugged, pulled, and brought forward, somebody's telling me, now listen here, now you come on forward now. They're giving me every reason. I don't have no excuses to make. They got ones older than me, younger than me, so they know me being 55 ain't no big daggone deal. Me having no background past, I don't have that to hide behind. So I don't have to be looking behind my shoulders or nothing. So my 1,000 families rich, thank you so much for encouraging me to move forward. Yes, I might not move forward with a product, but I'm going to tell you something about me. I'm going to move forward morally. And my mindset is on protection at this point. I plan on building a covenant around anything that I step my hands on. So until I'm legally cleared that I can actually be an influencer, then I'll do so. But right now I have to hold on for a minute because I take everything I do very serious, especially when I don't see it that dominant and aggressive here in this region. Down here, it's not that aggressive. I see some Philadelphia, some Maryland, but it's not that big yet. I can't see. But if it is, I'm missing it. So I'm waiting on that to come forward. So even with your businesses, bring them forward. You've been holding them back. Bring them on forward. Shoot. If you've been thinking about a thing and something just keeps saying launch, and you saying, I don't know, girl, but the other day something was telling me to just go forward. Something told me to just order that thing. Something told me to just go to get my tax ID number. Something told me to do. When you hear that and you hear yourself say it, that's just like in Sodom and Gomorrah. They told you to go forward and don't look back. So when you go back into the video today, again, whatever the Most High allows you to get, may the Most High let you have it. Anything that does not apply, may the Most High remove it. And with that being said, I ask you guys to have a very, very, very beautiful sit-down Sunday. Those of you that are getting up and getting ready for your service, may this be a little breakfast for you and something to look forward to. Again, don't look back. Don't look back. Have a very, very blessed and prosperous day.